Hi, my name is Seldon Tenzing. I am an entrepreneur in the field of travel, a certified life and a business coach, a speaker, and an author in making. I have two questions for you. Are you someone that feels that at times you are not as capable enough as what the other people perceive you to be? Or do you feel sometimes that somewhere you feel like a phony or a fraud? Like even when you achieve some kind of success or you have an accomplishment, but you still feel like you don't deserve it, and somewhere you feel like maybe the other person might find out your incapabilities, your weaknesses, your shortcomings, and you're always trying to look the best and be the best. So if you agree to these, if you're able to relate to this, then maybe there's a possibility that you might have an imposter syndrome. So if this topic sounds interesting to you, please stick till the end because I'm going to deep dive into this topic. I'm going to talk about what is imposter syndrome. I'm going to talk about what are the different behavior characteristics that one can display if someone has this syndrome. And I'm going to talk about 5 types of imposter syndrome and most importantly, how you can actually overcome or cope up with this syndrome. Okay, so if you're excited, if you're ready, shall we deep dive in? All right. So, like I said, imposter syndrome is a feeling, is an internal experience that wherein you feel or you believe that you are not as good as what the other person might perceive you to be. Okay, it's a feeling, like I said, sometimes that you feel like you're not good enough. Even if when you're successful, you give that you attribute your success to, let's say, luck or some external factors, and somewhere you're not able to internalize that success within yourself. And the interesting thing is that this kind of feeling can happen to anybody. This is no matter what background you come from, no matter what skill you have, what degree, what expertise you have. Medical researchers have said that 70% of people, at least once in their life, have experienced this particular syndrome. So, imposter syndrome is a feeling where you feel like you don't belong there, it's not meant for you, don't deserve it, and you're not as good as what other people see you to be. Now, the problem here is, and I'm sure by now you've kind of gotten a hint that this emotion, this thought process, this belief can actually become a roadblock to your success because somewhere even when you're doing well, okay, even if you have accomplishments and achievements, you're not able to internalize that, and that can be a problem, because you could be asking questions, right? What gives me the right to be here? And then you're not really opening up to your full potential. Also, I want to share some of the common signs that will help you identify whether you have imposter syndrome or you had it in the past or something like that. So, here are the common behaviors. The first one could be a self doubt, a moment of self doubt where you are again questioning whether you're good enough, whether you're capable enough, etc. So, self doubt can arise in this situation. Secondly, is you face an inability, you're unable to access your real capabilities. Even if you're skilled, you're highly skilled person, but you continuously undermine your capabilities. You're not really giving it an objective or a realistic view of your capabilities. Third thing is that you could be someone who is attributing your success to external factors like luck or connection or support, whatever it is, but you're not giving yourself the full credit. You could be someone who continuously criticize your own performance and whatever you're achieving, but somewhere you always see the flaws more than the strengths. You're always looking at the shortcomings. You can also be someone. It can also be someone that is living in fear of not being able to live up to expectations, and you could be somebody who is having very high standards, creating very high standards for himself or herself, and then being afraid, fearing that you might not be reaching it. And as when you try and fail, you would be really disappointed. You'll be like, oh, again, I'm not good enough. And the last thing which you could be doing is, which I have done in the past, is you can sabotage your own success. Yes, how that happens is usually when you have a belief system where you feel like you're not good enough, you don't deserve it. What happens is even when you have opportunities coming to you, you are too scared to take up the opportunity for the fear of failure, so you tend to not take up this opportunity. You can self-sabotage your own success that ways as well. So I think this is something that these are the points that I wanted to share with you, because like I said, majority of people undergo this particular experience, and it is important to be self-aware. It's important to know where you're going wrong and how you can correct it, right? So this is, I hope this video is adding value to that. Along with this, I also want to talk about the fact, while I was doing this research, I was shocked to see that there are 5 types of imposter syndromes. So let me highlight this to you very quickly. So the first type of imposter syndrome is called the perfectionist. And I very well relate to it because I was one, and I think I continue to be to a certain extent, but thankfully I'm self-aware, so I know where to stop. Perfectionists are those people who are usually never really satisfied with the level of work that they're doing. They're the people who are critical about their work. They always think that they can do better, be better. They focus on the shortcomings, the weaknesses, more than the accomplishments and the achievements that they've had made. So often, as you can understand, this often leads to a lot of great deal of anxiety, pressure, and it's a stressful life, and nobody really, and you really don't want that, and you don't deserve that. So the second type of imposter syndrome is called the superhero. Now I also have this problem, superhero problem, because these are the people who feel inadequate with their own capabilities. So because they feel that they are not good enough, they're constantly trying to push themselves harder. They're trying to get better, achieve more, things like that. So they're trying to become some sort of superhero, which is again a very stressful life in the long run, right? The third type is the expert. Now, expert are these people, these individuals, they're always trying to learn more. They're always never satisfied with the kind of knowledge and the skills. These are the people, they might be highly skilled, they might be highly competent, but at the same time, they feel like they're not enough, it's not enough. They need to acquire more information, acquire more knowledge, and they underrate their own experience and their own knowledge. The fourth kind is a natural genius. Now, these natural genius are these kind of people who feel like they have very high expectations from themselves. They create these really lofty, really high goals for themselves, and they feel like they should be able to achieve it in their first try. They don't want to put in the hard work. They lack the patience, and they feel like, I am meant to do this, and if I don't do this, then if they're not able to do that in their first try, they feel like they're not good enough. They're like losers. So these are the different categories called the natural genius. And finally, the fifth category is called the soulist. And I think I can relate to that as well, because these are the people who are very individualistic and they prefer to work alone. Okay, and I'm typically like that. For these kind of people, what happens is that they really what do you call it? Productivity is something that is very important to them, and they literally attach productivity to their self-worth, and they feel the more productive they are, the higher self-worth they would have. And these are the people who would be not good. They would not be good in asking help from other people. They feel like asking help is a sign of weakness or incompetence. And I know this very exactly because this is where I came from. While I was growing up, I was told that, I couldn't be weak, I couldn't show my incompetence, I always had to be best, I had to be like productive all the time, efficient all the time. And I still struggle with this, but now I'm self-aware and I know where to take breaks as well. So here are the 5 categories, and see if you can identify yourself, see if you or any one of your loved ones actually fall in these categories or not. So now we come to the final topic, which is how to overcome or how to really cope with the imposter syndrome. And I have 5 things for you. Okay, get your pen, notes, paper, whatever you have, and write down these 5 points. And the first thing that I always say in every video, point number 1, is know yourself. You've got to be self-aware. You've got to know what are these beliefs that you're thinking about yourself? What are these beliefs, these limiting beliefs that you have about yourself? And I think coaching is very powerful here, because this is where I sit with people individually, one to one, to decipher what their limiting beliefs are. And imagine if you have limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I have to prove myself all the time, I must be the best so that people can approve of me. Or if you have limiting belief like, in order to get love, I must achieve. Or if I seek help, I'm weak. So if you have certain these kind of subconscious beliefs in it, then it's going to be so difficult for you to. You might get success over the time, but this is a very big, I feel, a roadblock and a deterrent to a happy, fulfilled life. And today, what we're all looking for, right? Happiness and fulfillment, right? So I really want you to identify these limiting beliefs, and then you have to reprogram it. You have to change it. You have to change this belief system, because this is going to really burn you out in the long run. Okay. The second thing that I want you to do is, I want you to correctly assess your abilities, because somewhere what is going wrong is that you're not able to assess your abilities. You might be a very skilled person, a very knowledgeable person, but somewhere you don't believe it. So what I would like you to do is, I would like you to write down your accomplishments, write down your achievements, correctly assess what are you good at and what are you not good at, and believe in the fact that you are good at certain things, and that is something that you deserve to be known for. Right? Third thing which I would like you to do is question your own thoughts. So whenever these kind of thoughts come in, like I don't deserve this, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm not capable enough, etc., you have to catch those thoughts. That's a point of self-awareness again. You got to question you have to catch your thoughts, you have to question your thoughts, and you have to check for its rationality. See if it is really, really, really true or not. If you're starting to feel like a fraud, if you're feeling that someone might find out your shortcomings or weaknesses, see if that's true or not. Because a lot of times we exaggerate a lot of emotions, and negative emotions get exaggerated, and most of the times it's not the truth. So you've got to question your thought. You have to be self-aware, catch the thought, question it, and then change those thoughts again. And fourth thing I want to highlight is, you've got to stop comparing with other people. And nowadays, especially thanks to the social media world that we are in, we can easily browse and see what we're doing. And this very subconscious comparison comes in, where we're looking at other people and we're like, oh, this person is making more money, this person is traveling the world, this person is buying this, buying that. So we can get easily absorbed into that comparison mode. Right? I want you to again check for yourself. Stop comparing with others, because what comparison is going to do is only going to make you feel what you don't have. Your focus is only going to get into what I don't have currently. Instead, what I would like you to focus upon is, instead of comparison, stop and learn from that person. If you have in a circle, if you have somebody who's successful and you want to walk in that shoes, connect with that person, understand his or her journey, and learn. Instead of saying, oh, I don't have it, ask questions like, how can I get better? How can I just simply learn from this person and upgrade myself? So instead of comparison, shift your focus to learning. And the fifth thing that I want to highlight is, you have to let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is like one of the major triggers for imposter syndrome, because nobody is perfect, right? Nobody is perfect. We might think we are, we might try to be perfect, but we are not perfect, right? We're human beings. So instead of perfectionism, because perfectionism comes with, again, very high standards, and then we're always trying to strive to become perfect, which never happens. So you consistently feel like a failure. So you have got to let go of perfectionism, and you have to focus on progress. Okay, not perfectionism. You have to focus on progress. So in order to your mind to feel happy and feeling a sense of growth, you need to have certain level of progress. Now your progress can be small, big, doesn't matter. It just needs to have some level of progress. So you've got to let go of unrealistic standards, let go of perfectionism, and you just simply have to focus on progress. Okay, and So here are the 5 things that I want you to remember. First, identify your belief systems, your limiting beliefs, and you've got to change it. Second is you have to assess your abilities correctly and figure out who you really are, what you're really capable of. Third thing is you have to question those thoughts. When those negative thoughts come in your head, you have to question them, catch them and question them, and then change them. Fourthly, stop comparing with others and stop being a perfectionist. Okay? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect in order for people to love you. You have to be you for people to love you and to approve of you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this is of value. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can also connect with me on social media. I'll send you the links here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, DM me, comment on this below, or on social media, wherever you prefer. And I will look forward to connect with you. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye.